I was completely influenced by TikTok, the Maple Hills series, so I have mixed feelings about this book. 14 books. I'm very excited for today's video because, as you can see by the title, today I'm going to do a book haul of almost all the books that I bought on Vinted. So a little bit of story time. During summer I decided to put the Vinted app on my phone. I never used Vinted before, and I decided to do it because I wanted to buy some Philippa Gregory books. And since she has a lot of books that I wanted at a time, I decided, well, let's go and see on Vinted if I can find something, and it's probably going to be cheaper to buy in secondhand than new ones, because usually in Portugal the books are a little bit expensive. With this all said, I found a lot of good deals and I purchased way more books than I was expecting. So let's start showing all the books that I have. We are going to start with the ACOTAR series. Most of the books that I purchased at the time, I knew little about them. I knew the genre, but the rest about them I didn't search before buying. The thing is, I do not like to read about the books before reading them. I do not like to know exactly what the story is. I like to know the genre, but the story itself, I like to be a surprise. The ACOTAR books, I was completely influenced by TikTok, and also because of the YouTuber Tara Michelle. A few months ago, I saw a vlog that she did, that she was reading the ACOTAR series, and she was talking really good about the books. So since that time, I feel that I wanted to purchase these books. And these books, I know the genre, it is fantasy romance, and I haven't read a fantasy book in so many years. To be fair, also I haven't read much for the past years too, but a fantasy book is something that I haven't read in such a long time, and I love fantasy books. I think it is like a great way to feel that you are traveling to a new world that otherwise you'll never be able to visit or see that world. Plus, I know this also has a little bit of romance. I don't know how much, again, but the genre, it is fantasy romance, and I feel that I'm in my new era of reading romance books. I just want to read romance books. So I purchased these books. I don't know much about them. I think what also sold me, it was the covers, because I think the colors are really pretty. Because yes, I'm one of those persons that buy the books because of the cover, and that's why I have a few books that I really don't like, because when I start reading I realize that it is not my type of book. And the final thing that made me to purchase this book, it is because I saw that one person was selling 3 of these books and also the Onyx series for where I think it was a really good price. So I purchased these 3 books of the series for less than 18 euros, and these 2 books were a little bit less than 19 euros. In the end, for these 5 books I spent 36 euros and 61 cents. And I'm including also the price that I paid for shipment. Let's go to the other books that I purchased. And continuing with the genre of fantasy romance, I also purchased the first 2 books of the Onyx series. Again, I don't know much about these books, besides that they are fantasy and romance. Yes, I was completely influenced by TikTok and also Tara Michelle. She also read this series, and she talked, I don't know if I saw her reading the entire series, but I at least remember that she did a vlog that she was reading the last book of this series that I did not purchase because it was really expensive. Like, even on Vinted, if I pay for the price that they were asking for plus the shipment, I would spend more money than buying the book firsthand in a bookstore. I remember looking for the 3rd book, and the price with the shipment would be always like 20 euros, and I found that book in a bookstore for 18. but I decided to not purchase it because I'm not reading this right now. I'm going to leave these ones to last. Maybe I can find the third book like cheaper than I'm finding it now. So I purchased these two books with 3 of the ACOTAR series, and the price I paid for these 2 books, it was €11.79, and I think it is a really good price. And now let's move to the romance books that I purchased, and I bought the Maple Hills series. I purchased the 3 of them, the Icebreaker, Wildfire, and also the Daydreamer. I purchased these 3 books for €20.34, and even though they are not like the cheapest books that I bought, I still think it was like a good deal for 3 of them. And again, I don't know much about these books, but after purchasing these books, I talked with one of my friends, and she reads a lot of books, and she had already read the entire series, and she told me her opinion about these books. Overall, I know she didn't like the first one, she liked the second one, and the third one, it is her favorite, and I completely trust her opinion, so I'm really excited to read the third one. And I'm not very excited to read the first one, plus she told me that in this book there is like a spy scene that was a little bit weird, so I'm not really excited to read the first book, but the other 2 I'm really excited. And continuing with the romance, I purchased these 2 books from the Dream Harbor series. I purchased the first one and the second one. At the time I didn't know like they were a series, but I already read these 2 books. I read them really fast, and I read them so fast that when I started reading this one, I also purchased another book from the Dream Harbor series. This is the 5th book. This one I bought at the bookstore, so this is not part of this book haul, but still I want to show you. And these 2 books, again influenced by TikTok, but also like the covers, they are so cute that I think they were like the selling point. And I purchased these 2 books for €12.85, and since I already read this, I think I can give you my opinion about it. So I have mixed feelings about these books. The writing style of these books remembers me a lot of the stories that I used to read on Wattpad. I think it is a little bit cringy, this book. The writing, it is not the best, and I feel that if you want to enjoy this book, you have to bring your inner teenager. So after I bring my inner teenager to the surface, and I accept that I was reading a Wattpad story style, I really start enjoying it. I enjoy it so much that I read this book so fast. I read this one in 3 days. And the couple from the first book, I think they are really cute. They have a type of insta love that I'm really not a big fan, just because he has like a grumpy personality, so I think it would suit better if they had more a slow burn instead of an insta love. Because one thing that really annoyed me in the beginning, he is supposed to be a little bit grumpy, but in the first chapters that you know what he's thinking, and he meets her, he's like, oh my god, her pajama pants are so cute, because they had like animals in her pants, and he's like, oh, it's so cute. I'm like, you're supposed to be a little bit grumpy. So that's the only thing that I think it didn't make much sense. But again, I enjoyed this book. I think these books is like watching a Hallmark Christmas movies. If I think they are good, I don't think they are good. If I really like it, yes, I really like it. And the second book, this one, as I told you, I read this in 3 days. This one, I did not like it very much. If you look to the cover, and if you look to the name of the book, that it is a cinnamon bun bookstore, what do you think? It is an autumn book. It is not. Most of the book, it happens on the last month of summer, and I feel that like the autumn really only starts like really at the end. So let's move to the other romance books, and I'm going to try to be a little bit quicker. I purchased these two books, the American Roommate Experience and also the Spanish Love Deception. I bought them together. For the two of them I paid €7.39, but I think it is a really good deal. I think they were with a really good price, and I was a little bit curious to see what they are really about, so I purchased them. And again, I don't know much about it, I just know they are romance. And now let's move on to all the Philippa Gregory books that I purchased. As you can see, I purchased a lot of Philippa Gregory's books. In total, I purchased 14 books. As I told you, I started using the Vinted app because I wanted to buy a few books from Philippa Gregory, and I found such good deals that in the end I purchased all the books from her Tudor series except for two. One of them I already had it and I read it, and the other book I did not purchase because they just released that book, so there was no way that I was able to purchase during summer, obviously. For all these books I paid €28.33. It is like €2.02 per book. It is really inexpensive, it is really cheap, and I'm really happy with the deals that I made. I already read this one. This is the first from this series, and I'm really excited to continue reading this entire series. Besides romance, I think my favorite genre it is historical fiction books. I just love them because usually you can have like historical fiction but also a little bit of romance, so I think like they are perfect. And besides her writing style that I love, and I think her books are very well written, and she has a way to keep me wanting to continue reading and reading more. Besides this, what I really like also about her books is that she always reads the books from the point of view of the females. For example, in this book, the main character it is Jacquette of Luxembourg, and what the author says in the end of the book is that sometimes it is really hard to find some facts about this woman that had an impact on history, but most of the time you would keep like records of the male heirs, but they wouldn't keep track of the female ones. And I think she does such a great job bringing all these stories from all these women that had an impact on history. But I feel that otherwise, if she didn't write about it, we wouldn't know. Obviously there are some women in here that you probably already heard about them, for example the 6 wives of Henry VIII, but what I think she made such an amazing job is talking about them as a person of themselves and knowing more about them beside being the wife of Henry VIII. Obviously being the King of England and being married to Henry VIII had a great impact in their lives, but they were not just like the wife of Henry VIII, they also had their beliefs and their own personal things, and I think Philippa Gregory makes a great job like bringing that to the books. And with this all said, I already showed you most of the books that I purchased on Vinted. The only books that I didn't show you, it was the Christmas books that I purchased in there, because I'm thinking about to do a separate video, probably in December, just because I think it is more in the theme. And also if I show you all the Christmas books that I purchased, this video would be really long, even though I think I'm talking already for like an hour. But just so you know, I purchased, if I'm not wrong, 18 to 20 Christmas books on Vinted. It is a lot, but all of them I bought them at a really great price. Thank you so much for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and subscribe. And if you already read any of these books, please give me your opinion in the comments. I always like to know what people thought about the books. And again, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video.